Well, it's gonna be another doozy today. I'm just glad one of these movies turned out as decent as it did. For today's movie review, I'm actually getting two of these movies out of the way with one video. The first is Jurassic World Rebirth, and that is the seventh in a franchise I honestly wish went extinct. Although, since these things keep making money, it will probably be another 65 million years until it eventually does go extinct. The other film is the soft reboot, half remake, but not really sequel continuation of the Naked Gun series, once helmed by the brilliant Leslie Nielsen, but now taken over by Liam Neeson, who plays Frank Drebin's son, but honestly looks too old for the part for some reason. But anyway, let's begin. Spoilers ahead.
Survival is a long shot.
What the hell are those?
They're helping the mosasaur defend territory, stalk, hunt.
None of what you just said is good.
The first film is Jurassic World Rebirth, and I think it's obvious right off the bat that there's really nowhere else to go with this franchise. It's a hard 50-50 mix of veering so far off from the source material that it goes into absolute absurdity, or wash, rinse, and repeat for that matter. That, and the storyline is very borderline ridiculous that it's very hard to take anything seriously. If we take the subplot with the family, for example, there's really no reason any of them should be out to sea in the manner that they are, other than the fact that the story basically demanded that they did. It's one of those stupid plot devices where they knew what they were getting into, but then went and did it anyway. That, and no other dad on the planet would just willy-nilly allow his daughter to take her boyfriend along on the trip, because, yeah, okay. Then there's the main plot, which, right off the bat, undoes the ending set in place by Jurassic World Dominion, which, yes, has many dumb, idiotic moments of its own. After all, we go from learning to coexist with the dinosaurs in this new Jurassic World to, nope, now all the dinosaurs are dead, and the only way they can live is to exist closer to the equator. Which, first off, is such heavy whiplash, but secondly, is so incredibly stupid. The other thing is, how are the dinosaurs getting to the equator? It would be one thing if you were one of the flying dinosaurs like the Pteranodon or the Quetzalcoatlus, or however you pronounce that, to get there. But is someone transporting, like, the Brachiosaurs or the Triceratops, like, by boat or something? Like, how are they getting here? If there's a T-Rex roaming around North America, is there just a team waiting to take this beast down and transport it down to the equator or something? Or did the scriptwriters, like, not think that far ahead? Anyway, so the dinosaurs are dying and moving to the equator, but for whatever reason, someone thought it would be a good idea to take dinosaur DNA from three very distinct animals and use it to treat human health. And yet, that's totally how dino DNA works. But that's not the only thing that's really stupid about it. It just happens to be three very distinct dinosaurs that would be really hard to get a hold of, like the Mosasaurus, the Quetzalcoatlus, and I'm pretty sure I'm still not pronouncing that right, and the Titanosaurus. There's also some pretty ridiculous additions to the franchise, such as the extremely mutated made-up dinosaurs, which unfortunately the writers learned the wrong lessons from Alien Resurrection. There exist the Mutadons, which are supposed to be a genetic mix of the Pteranodon and the Velociraptor, which I might add, for being one of the franchise's most famous and prominent dinosaurs, is barely in the movie, existing as a cameo for like not even a minute and then being killed by one of these Mutadons. There's also the Distortus Rex, known as the D-Rex, and it's supposed to be like the movie's main dinosaur villain or something, but this is a dinosaur that seems to have no other personality other than it looks ridiculous. Like, the thing even has 6 arms. Like, well, what the heck's up with that? Like, why do we have these stupid made-up dinosaurs when we have a bunch of dinosaurs, like, on record that we already have? Like, they could have at least brought the Spinosaurus back, like that we saw in Jurassic Park 3, and then set him up as a villain again, and then have a rematch between it and the T-Rex, where the Rex finally redeems itself and come up victorious this time. But nope, I guess not. So eventually, they get to this new made-up island that was under InGen's control at one point. But which island is it? Well, it's none of the familiar ones, because, as you might recall, Isla Nublar got blown up by the volcano, and the Jurassic World movies seem to want to pretend that Site B doesn't exist for some reason anymore, so we just made up a whole new island. Okay. So, I will add that while they are in the jungle, there are times where it actually feels like there's an inkling of connection to the overall franchise, because the rest of the movie feels so detached it might as well be its own thing. Musically, they do sneak in the original Jurassic theme like once or twice, but that's about it. Like, they don't even take musical cues from any of the other Jurassic World movies or anything. Tonally, some have compared it to the original 3 Jurassic Park films, which once or twice it tried to feel like, but that's when it didn't feel detached from the overall series. While tonally it felt like it should have fit in with the original movies, the script obviously felt a little more stupider than even by Jurassic Park 3 standards. And yes, I am suggesting that Rebirth is a stupider movie than Jurassic Park 3. Fight me. Anyway, so they get the DNA from these 3 MacGuffin dinosaurs, shenanigans happen, and some of the people get off the island alive, and that's about it. So, what does this make for the overall whole? Well, it's not great. Rebirth is the ultimate example of something that is made to look and sound pretty on top, but on the inside, it's a pile of crap.
That is one big pile of
The character motivations for even doing this mission are also pretty pathetic. They make it very clear at the beginning that they're not even doing this out of curiosity to see the dinosaurs. They're not collecting the DNA to help others selflessly. It's because they'll be paid a lot of money. What a good example to set for your audience. You don't have to do anything unless money's involved. And I'm sure someone in the comments will say, "Well, Logan, you must be stupid. Scarlett Johansson learns to help others at the very end because character arc, and now she's a nice lady." Thumbs down, unsubscribe. Not quite. If it was a normal character arc where she learns to grow into a more selfless person, that would be one thing, but she does not. Her character is very inconsistent throughout, going from only doing the mission for money to, "Oh, now I'll be nice," back to money, 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 back to, "We need to help others." That's not a character arc. That's inconsistency. So that either means the script was crap to begin with, or heavy reshoots were involved and they did not account for the earlier parts of the movie, or both. Rebirth is also a reminder that not everything needs a continuation. To be quite honest, as dumb as Dominion was, and it was a very dumb addition to the franchise, at least it felt like an ending to the Jurassic saga, if you want to call it that. This movie attempts to continue the franchise by acknowledging the past, but also rejecting significant parts of it along the way, and gives no clear indication of where this franchise is headed. Is this just a one-off? Is this a start to another trilogy? Will there be a sequel to Rebirth, or like a spin-off streaming series? Like, does this movie have any clear indication of what the franchise future looks like? No, not at all, because I'm pretty sure it has no idea. Most likely because it knows there is nowhere else to go. At this phase in the series, all you can do is wash, rinse, and repeat what came before, and any new idea that is thrown out there is as stupid as they get. Rebirth fails to make for a good cohesive whole, and it's a consistent mess even if it looks pretty on the outside. So do I recommend Jurassic Multiverse 7 Cretaceous Fury of Chaotic Mumbo Jumbo? No, not really. And if you do have any curiosity about watching the film for yourself, then watch at your own risk. You're better off watching what came in the franchise before, especially the first movie.
Multiple SWAT units responding to hostage situation.
Hey, little girl, stop!
What do you want, little one?
Your ass.
That's the sound of the police! That's the sound of the beast! That's the sound of the police! That's the sound of the beast!
Who are you?
Frank Drebin, Police Squad. The new version.
That's the sound of the police.
The last film is Naked Gun 4, or I guess just The Naked Gun. I honestly hate when newer movies do this. The film series is now led by Liam Neeson, who plays Frank Drebin Jr., the son of Frank Drebin Sr., played by Leslie Nielsen in the first 3 films, and Police Squad. And it does acknowledge that there were those exploits from years prior, but it can easily stand alone on its own. Even for a modern redo of a film series, I'm honestly surprised how consistent it was with the first 3 films. The humor and the visual gags are on par with the typical gags that came before, maybe not done as perfect as the original trilogy, but at least the filmmakers were trying to respect what worked before. There are visual gags such as the constant changing of coffee mugs, one of the officers uses a claw from a claw machine to pick up wreckage from a crime scene, and Dave Bautista even shows up for a cameo that also serves as a visual gag in a way. But I won't spoil what he's there for. There's even a scene that spoofs the opening of Mission Impossible Fallout, and as someone who's seen that movie plenty of times, I honestly knew what they were doing, so that's why it amused me. Do all the jokes land in this movie? No. There were just as many times where I didn't laugh or didn't get something, but there were plenty of times where I did chuckle or smile at something. Mostly, of course, at the ludicrous nature of this film. The story itself is pretty self-explanatory. Corporate bad guy wants to do some dastardly deed, and Frank Drebin is hot on his trail, knowing he's got the real culprit on his fingertips, but nobody believes him, and then shenanigans happen. When he saves everyone from the bad guys, you get the point. I'm sure a lot of people are going to say this is pretty much a soft reboot of the first one for sure, and it does have a lot in common with that movie, of course, but this one was obviously adapted to fit in our modern day world and not that of the 80s and 90s. Pamela Anderson also pretty much plays the same type of character Priscilla Presley did in the original films, albeit with a pretty interesting twist. So it's pretty easy to see the comparisons there. Now, is it as good as the original movies? Obviously no. I did say it was consistent with the previous entries, but I definitely would much rather watch the original exploits of Frank Drebin. But that doesn't mean that this movie was completely bad. It's not bad at all. It's serviceable enough for a legacy sequel or soft reboot or whatever it was supposed to be. I'm just glad someone in Hollywood decided that it's a good thing to actually, give people what they want and make them laugh again. Between Police Squad and Dinosaurs, I'm actually going to say that The Naked Gun was the superior film. Jurassic World Rebirth just left a lot to be desired, and it's going to be difficult to even want to rewatch because of its cynical nature and lousy script. So the chances of me rewatching it anytime soon are very, 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 very slim. At least I had a somewhat decent time with The Naked Gun, so I'll say that. Of course, both films don't hold candles to their original counterparts, but the comedy was definitely superior to the dinosaur film. Anyway, that's all I have for today. Thank you for tuning in to the 20th Century Dude channel. Hope to catch you on the fly. See ya.